Welcome to Stories with Dice. This is the Dark Blue Sea, a Mutant Year Zero actual play podcast. If you're enjoying our actual plays, please subscribe to Stories with Dice so you'll never miss an episode. Don't forget to rate and review us. It really helps others discover the podcast. Follow us on social media to stay updated, share your thoughts, and join the conversation. You'll find the relevant links in the description of each episode.
Evening, everyone. Welcome to another fun-filled game by Stories with Dice. This time, we're having a go at Mutant Year Zero. I'd like to just introduce you to my wonderful players. As always, I've got my trusty, I was going to say sidekick name marker, but that seems wrong. My trusty co-host. Hello.
Hello.
How's things?
Oh, things are good. I am playing Caspian. He is a human parasite and the navigator of the group.
Cheers, Marco. Douglas, we've seen you with all our other with some of our other podcasts. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well.
Welcome back. As usual, would you like to explain who you are and a quick description?
Sure. I'm playing a character called Cochrane, who is the ship's chronicler / shanty man, and he is part human tree, according to my mutation. So he has a sort of like skin like silver birch.
Okay, but otherwise looks human.
Humanoid, yeah.
Humanoid. Okay, we'll go with humanoid. Then welcome back to Pete. As it seems that you're in all of ours now. I think you're just going to be part of the furniture from now on.
Yeah.
One day we were like, where's Pete gone? Don't know.
Pete's the star of the show.
Yeah, of course.
He's the star of every show.
Yeah, that's true. Pete, did you want to just give us a brief description of your character or who you are and your character?
Yeah, I'm Roach. I'm an insectoid mutant. I look mostly human, but I have a few insect traits that make me a bit tougher and a bit stronger. Therefore, I use my talents as an enforcer, so I can hit things or move things or threaten to hit things. That's pretty much what I do.
Thank you very much, Pete. And then a warm welcome to Chris, who I've played with before on other streams. Nice to see you, and thank you very much for offering to come along and join our merry band.
Well, thank you for having me back. I'm so excited to get to play some Mutant again.
Woohoo! Yes, always fun. Could I ask you to explain your character briefly? A name, description, that kind of thing, please.
Wonderful. I'll be playing Moth, the amphibian mutant, gearhead, who is here to repair all the stuff that invariably is bound to get broken in our adventures.
Amazing. So we've got someone who's going to hit things, someone who's going to fix things, someone who's going to take you to the places to hit things and find things, and someone to record everything that's happened. Seems fair. It's like a group that's made to succeed. For those listening, so Mutant Year Zero, if you don't know, is a game by Free League Publishing, and it is set in a post-apocalyptic world. There's no real set sort of back history other than some horrible stuff has happened, climate change, end of the war, sort of World War III kind of thing, and the world has gone to shit. Essentially, the players are all mutants. They have not seen or been around anyone other than mutants. There is a large group of them. They have only known the people called the Elders who were with them on this, in this case, this large ship, and they pretty much looked after them from a very young age. It's very rare that any of you actually remember anything from before the ship. You're probably, in sort of like real world terms, the oldest is probably no more than a late teenager, maybe pushing 19, maybe at the most. And so you don't really sort of recall your really young life. There might be a couple of the older ones, some of the bosses who might remember that, but that's from like pictures that you have spread around the ship from when the Elders were sort of younger and looking after you. Some of them have passed away, but in the process, they've trained you how to look after the ship, how to maintain the ship, how to drive the ship, how to navigate by the stars, how to fish for food, how to use the various plankton and seaweed. And you've kind of like done this for as long as you can remember. That in its core is the heart of Mutant Year Zero, and at least the story. There is usually sort of like a larger meta plot at work, which I'm not going to be really using for this campaign. I've got my own kind of idea of what we're going to use, but we'll kind of like get on with it rather than sort of like faff around for too long. The ship you have is the Odyssey 3. It's your home. It's the place you've lived. It's huge. There are many decks. For those that can count, there are about 8 decks. The actual ship itself is run by the Elder or the Elders. There's probably about 3 or 4 of them left by the time we see the players interacting with the world in the game. And there are 3 factions on board the ship. We've got the Lawkeepers, run by Anwin, who is the boss. We have the Mechanics, which is a gang run by the character Elson. And we have the Rugged Crew, which is run by Rhett. Each of them have a different sort of area of influence into sort of like into the ship. Anwin, her gang, pretty much controls the knowledge from the Elder, helming and an understanding of how to navigate that kind of stuff. Elson, on the other hand, they pretty much have the area of influence around fixing the ship. And then the last one is Rhett, and they are the sort of like the navigators and the fixers, and the people that kind of control the goods and all the other things that happen aboard ship. The farmers, or at least the sort of like people who can do some sort of farming and who can deal and speak to people that you might meet out in the wastelands. So Mutant Year Zero not only is a role-playing game where you get to play your characters, but once a session, all the players come together to look after the ship, or the Ark, as we call it. In that, you can have access to all sorts of stuff. You can decide to create projects. You can decide what kind of things you're going to follow, what you're going to do. The Ark itself also has development levels, which allows you to determine how much food you might have, whether or not you understand certain technologies, or whether you're really protected or can fight other people, which we'll kind of get into later on down the line. So, to start with, just like to have an understanding of your characters. You've already kind of given us a brief description. What do you think you all do together that makes you kind of join up as a little gang? I'll throw that out to you.
Well, I'd like to believe it's that we want to find cool things to make the Odyssey better. But, I mean, maybe that's just how I see it, and to you it's something else entirely.
Maybe it's... So, here you go. Maybe you're the ones that are not part of the other factions, so you're kind of like the rejected bunch.
Oh, we're the rejects. We're the losers.
Indeed, yeah. Maybe that could be it.
That could be it.
I guess that is it now.
Just works for me.
Outsiders. I like that. The cooler version of the losers, right? Outsiders. Pete?
Yeah, that would work. They're an outside team that works independently, but I think I might be working for one of the bosses to keep an eye on them.
Okay. Which one of those bosses do you think that you'll probably be working with? Ooh, intrigue already from the off start. We like that.
From the practical side of things, I think it'll be the lot that fix stuff and keep things running. So
okay, so the mechanics.
Yeah, so I'm there to inform on any new technology that we come across or understanding in that side of things.
What would you do? Would you inform on what you find and then tell them they will come and find it from someone? Or would it be you would steal it and then pass it on? What's the sort of thing you would probably do?
It's probably a little more... Yeah, I'm out there to maybe pass on information or clues that might come from my faction that they wouldn't officially go looking for as a faction, and then just pass back descriptions of whatever we've found. And, I don't know whether it'll be any use or not, so the boss will tell me whether I need to pass on the information or if anything needs maybe disappearing and reappearing in his possession.
Okay. That makes sense. Douglas, what is it that you would do on a day-to-day basis? Roughly, what would be your average day? Just within, if you were to sum it up in sort of like 5 lines.
Probably nothing in particularly, just like menial work, I suppose. So labor stuff.
You're a chronicler, so you probably wouldn't be doing menial labor. That would be for the enforcers and the ones that are less than the enforcers.
Well, I do working songs to get the rhymings for like if you're doing work, like hauling ropes and that sort of thing. You need to get the timings for these sort of things, which is why you need the shanties and the working songs. So everyone's working together for a purpose.
Noble, I like that. Chris, what about yourself?
I hope to, get beyond the usual day-to-day tedium of whatever, fixing that broken down sump pump each and every single day. I just want something else. There's got to be something else that's going to change our lives. Like all these things that break every day over and over again. It's so futile.
So do you think Moss would Moss have basically got off her or its butt to do something or just moan about it?
No, I need something else. I mean, I still obviously need to fix the things that break because otherwise we're going to shit, but I want something more. I'm so hungry for more than that.
Marco?
Caspian spends his day working on whatever little ships the large ship has, whether it's a rowboat or, a small sail ship or what have you. Making sure it's ready at a moment's notice and that it's seaworthy and it's stocked with supplies. And he probably checks on it regularly or hangs out by it because he doesn't trust other people in the ship might take stuff, tools, supplies, whatever they might, for their own purposes, because his dream is not stay on this ship forever. So,
okay. Yeah. So the main ship does have smaller sort of boats rather than being ships. And most of them are sort of scrap sailboats or scrap boats. So some of them have a few very basic engines, and that's where you would generally go out to do your fishing, or if you were to explore some old ruins that are sticking up out of the water or anything like that. That's
right. Yeah. So when he's not out navigating, exploring, either for himself and his own curiosity or because, someone sent him somewhere, then he's with that boat.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye on it, making sure it's seaworthy. Quick question. Is the ship itself stationary or is it mobile?
No, it's mobile.
It is.
The ship itself is very mobile. And you have been drifting for as long as you can remember. The majority of the things that you know of and you tend to stay within the same sort of area. People talk of coordinates and navigation, which you kind of sort of understand. And in fact, you've probably spent a bit of time with the chroniclers mapping the areas you're around. And so there are a couple of places that you know of that you can go to. So there is an island, probably about 4 or 5 days westward of your position, where you can go and trade for supplies where other people come to. There are not just yourselves, there are other various different factions in the waste. The other people seem to be, some people have called them zone ghouls, other people have called them wanderers. They're other traders and other people that seem to have been in the same sort of boat. And I think that leaves Douglas? No. Pete? No. Yes, Pete, I suppose.
Yeah, my day-to-day job is basically delivering parts and resources around the whole ship.
Go for it.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, cool. So, 2 days ago, a storm started to brew up and it's got worse and worse and it continues to get worse. And so there's a lot of battening down of hatches and making sure everything's fine, and all the sort of like small tenders and all the smaller ships are kind of like hauled aboard or kind of like are sort of like lashed to the sides and brought out of the water. Not that makes too much difference because the waves are huge. And you all kind of have to like sit in. You've been through storms before that have been quite large. This is probably the largest that you can all remember. And during the course of the storm, you were in your bunks. I mean, whereabouts in the boat are you? Are you kind of like the front, the back? I'm going to avoid nautical terms. Are you left or right of the ship? Are you in the bowels of the ship? Whereabouts have you sort of like situated yourself
Well,
as
if we're
as a
outsider,
gang?
probably in the least desirable place, right? Like the bowels of the ship somewhere.
So the mechanics generally are sort of like in the bowels of the ship because they maintain the generators and the
Right.
various
So maybe not
mechanical aspects.
there with them, but somewhere nearby, perhaps.
Maybe sort of towards the...
Maybe we're near the toilets.
Yeah, I mean, you guys will probably be towards the front of the ship, I would imagine, because that's going to hit the worst amount of sway and swell and stuff like that. So yeah, there's a lot going on. You kind of like knocked off your bunks occasionally. You have to like strap yourself in if you want to go to sleep, that kind of thing. You know, it's not the best, but you're all kind of sorting yourselves out. Would you have a porthole in your Yeah, you'd have a porthole. So you're looking out at the seas. The every now and then you sort of like you get a wave kind of hit the porthole, and you're just like, okay. And it's then when, in fact, Marco, I guess you're the one who said you were looking out the porthole. Do me a favor, and could you please make a wits roll for me? So the system works on D6 dice pool. It is a simple stat plus skill roll, and what you're looking for is 6s as successes.
And I got none.
You got none successes.
Zip.
So you don't really see anything until you're kind of like looking out. It's horrible weather. It's massive storm. But you realize that the water's really properly lapping up against I say lapping is being latched against the porthole. And as you look out of there, you suddenly see another vessel. The vessel itself comes in and collides with the porthole. The porthole makes a horrible cracking noise, and a whole bunch of seawater comes pouring into the porthole where you were all sitting, doing whatever it is you were doing.
Did it damage the hull?
Yes, there's a large crack in the hull, and your porthole smashes, letting in the sea. You can hear the horrendous crashing of waves and the sound of lightning and thunder.
And that crack in the hull, is water coming through the crack as well?
Indeed it is.
I'm like, let's get the hell out of here.
Yep, Cochrane agrees with that. Follow Caspian.
Our room isn't that big that we couldn't afford to lose it if need be, right? So I'm hoping that the door to this room is something that I might be able to, block up a little bit, make it watertight enough to keep the ship from really being damaged.
You look at the very lovely wooden door that's attached to your...
No, wooden door, that's not going to cut it. Also, I wonder what the room to our left and right look like, and if we sort of, need to hope for a Titanic principle here.
It almost looks almost identical to the room that you're in. Pete?
I have no idea how to fix these things. I'm looking to others for directions.
Yeah.
Well, let's get out of here first and then wonder about where we can, block off the water.
Yeah, you basically run out of the room, and you can hear the vessel that's outside crash against the hull again, and you hear a splitting, creaking noise coming from where your room is, and maybe where some of the other rooms are on the side of the hull. And you see a couple of others stick their head out and look up and down the hallway. So where you've come out, there's almost like a hallway that goes all the way around the middle of the center of the ship, and all the kind of rooms are all around the edges. The elder used to say that, or you said this used to be a cruise liner, and it used to be one of those places where every single room was wonderful and well appointed. I mean, at least not since you've had it. You suddenly start to see water filling up on the floor. It's amazing how quickly this starts to fill. And you hear another smash against the hull. Amongst all of you, who has the highest scout roll? Who has the highest scout skill?
I have 0, so it's not me.
I mean, I'd have a 5 from wit, so...
Okay, I think it's you then, Chris, if you'd like to make a wits roll.
Yeah, that's not a 6, I know.
No, it is a success. Yeah, it is.
Is the radioactive the...
Yeah.
I thought that was the one. I thought that was the bad thing.
No.
I thought that was the panic dice.
No. That's the little...
Woohoo!
Chris, you succeeded. But you hear the sound of gunfire coming from above you.
Crap, it's an attack or an invasion or something. And I knock on every door that we run past so that people will know to get away. Get out! Get out!
Do I know where Anwen is?
Where would the last place be? So yes, he is usually towards the back of the vessel. You are about halfway down. So it's about 3 to 5 minute run.
Okay. And Rhett the Rugged?
So Rhett, he is up on deck, just under the main steam vent.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then the mechanics are in the bow of the ship. Any particular thoughts about what you want to do?
We're on the main deck?
No, you're the second deck down from the main outside deck.
And that's where Red is, on the outside deck?
Yeah, and that's where Rhett is.
Okay.
And you can hear gunfire.
Okay. I think we should go up and to probably my boat.
We might run into that skirmish, but that's not going to be as bad as drowning.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
Sadly, none of you have that much gear to worry about, so you can, like, in a bag, on your shoulder. And, okay. Are you all in agreement with this? Is Cochrane and Roach in agreement with this?
Caspian seems to know what he's talking about when it comes to boats. So if he thinks it's worth, like, getting out of Dodge.
Yeah, I mean, just going to follow these guys for now.
Okay.
I've got my scrap rifle at the ready, too.
Sure. Do any of you others have any weapons that you want to put to hand, or are you going to be just making your way as fast as you can?
I have a trusty bicycle chain.
Okay.
I've got a knife.
I've got a makeshift axe kind of thing.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, you basically follow the passageway. You're knocking on the doors as you go. People are coming out. They're asking questions. People don't know what's going on. You come to the stairs that take you up to the next deck, which you do. There is a watertight door at that point when you get to that side. But you get to the door and you kind of open it. As you open it, a whole load of rain and salt spray and sound just assaults you as you go up onto the deck. You can see one of the elders laying on the floor, dead at your feet, bleeding. You then see just off to your side 3 people carrying guns, wearing blue uniform with yellow striping and piping. They have a gas mask and they have actual, honest to goodness, old technology pistols. As you see them step on board deck from this large gangplank, they randomly shoot another mutant who comes running past. In fact, it's Edith, who's from the same deck as you. She catches a bullet in her back and she goes sprawling on the floor. They look towards you. What do you want to do?
I'm going to shoot this fucker. And then I'm going to take his fancy gun. They killed one of the elders, man. They need to die.
Well, so first and foremost, one of the guys starts to move towards you all. He is just getting off the gangplank and he is having problems drawing his pistol from his holster. That's what he's going to do. Caspian, it appears you are next.
Well, as he's fumbling for his weapon, I have 2 in the skill, shoot,
yeah,
and then 5 in agility. So 7 dice,
yep,
plus an extra die for the gun.
Okay, cool. So
and it looks like I got
then...
1 success.
Success.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
out of all those damn dice.
So what that does mean is that you hit and you do the thing you want to do with 1 success. That's all you need to do. There are things in the game called stunts, which allow you to do more. So generally in shooting, it might be doing more damage or trying to shoot like a gun out of someone's hand or whatever it is. So those stunts allow you to do extra stuff. You didn't get any extra stunts, so you just shot him. Unfortunately for you, he has armor, which means I have to make an armor roll.
Yeah, it says the damage is 2.
Yes, so it does 2 damage. So the way it works is all of you have strength as your ability. That's basically hit points.
Oh, okay.
No! So you've also got agility, wits, empathy. Various types of damage comes off of each of the different attributes. So your attributes will go down, which means if you're in combat, things start to get harder the longer you're in combat. So because this is Mutant Year Zero, to be able to get your abilities to work, you need to hurt yourself. So if you wish to, you can do what they use for all the other games, really. is push, which means you can attempt to re-roll any of the failed successes that you have. If you do that, just to let you know, you already have 1 on your dice roll, which means even if you were to then re-roll this, you're going to take 1 damage, which you can assign to strength, agility, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not going to push it.
Okay, that's fine. You shoot him in the chest and he staggers back, still holding his pistol, and almost goes over the side, but steadies himself against the railing. Nice shot. So Yeti, that's Moss's turn.
Right. So I can only really do anything at close range. So how's my cover looking? Would I seem to be able to get at the guy who's struggling to pull his gun? Draw his gun?
You could probably run to him. If you were to make a move roll, you could probably run and bundle him. I have no problem with that. You just have to push past Caspian.
And what about the third guy? If he's giving the second guy cover, that probably means trouble for me, right?
Yeah, the third guy is kind of got his pistol out, which means if you were to engage in hand-to-hand combat with the guy that you want, you could open yourself up to being shot.
Yeah, I think I'm a bit too timid for that. I'll try and sort of somehow get to where I can maybe prize them. From the way that this map looks, would I be able to run around and try and I don't know, maybe
you could
sort of ambush them
run
from around the corner? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, you could run off and come back. Yeah, make a move roll for me, please.
Yeah, somebody needs to be garroted with a bicycle chain next turn.
Sure. We'll see how many turns it takes you, but yeah, feel free to tell me how many successes you get.
Yeah, there's none of those.
Okay. Well, you kind of run around the corner and out of their line of sight. You reckon it's probably going to take you at least 3 or 4 combat turns in game to probably get around.
Yeah, I'm fairly squishy. I'm not super keen on running into them.
It's fine. Okay, well, next is the one that's trying really desperately hard to get his gun out, which he's going to try and do, but he seems to be having some issues with it. He manages to pull the gun free and then looks up straight towards you, Caspian, as you think his next target. But that's him done for this combat turn. Then we have Roach. What would you like to do?
I'm split now. I'm at the back. One of my team's just legged it round the corner. Yeah, I'm doing a double take, looking back at that corner and looking at the guys with the guns. Yeah, so the nearest one to us with the guns, is he reachable?
Yeah, I mean, you can run towards him and attack him if that's what you would like to do.
Yeah, but my instinct is to hit things. So, yeah, rather than run, I'm just going to charge at him and try and hit him before he can get a shot off.
Go on then.
Knock him over the side.
Hit him with whatever you're going to hit him with.
Swing me scrap axe.
So, just want to explain how many dice you have.
5 for the strength, 3 for the attack skill, and 1 for the gear.
Okay, I'm just having a quick to roll. So, what that means is that you got 1 success from there. So you got 1 6. You also got 2 1s. One which was on the stat. So you're going to take, if you were to push this, you would take 1 damage. But also, because you've got a 1 on the gear, your gear would also take 1 damage. So essentially in this game, if you were to push it, it means that not only would you take damage, but the item you're using would also take damage. So I'm guessing that you're probably not going to want to push that.
No.
But you are going to do 3 damage to the guy with your scrap axe. So yeah, you rush towards him and you stick the scrap axe in him. Let's see if his armor does anything at all. Nope. You swing the scrap axe and you get him square in the chest. It obviously bypasses whatever armor he was protecting him. Blood gushes out of him and he collapses to the floor amid with the wash of the waves and the rain that's howling in the side. That's 1 down. Well, the last guy who is going to take a shot at you. Pete. So he is just going to do a simple shoot. So my guy has 4 base from his roll. He's got a couple of skill and a couple of gear. So I'm going to roll that. He gets no successes and he does actually get a failure, but he's the PC, so he can't push nothing. So he fires a couple of shots towards you and they go wide. One hits the railing, and the other one whizzes past your head. Okay. I think that leaves one person left.
Okay. Can I make it as far as the third guy who just shot?
Could make a move roll and be a bit fancy on the footwork. Sure.
Yeah, but that would mean my entire action would be getting over to him.
You could get to him and then him.
Okay, I'll give that a go.
So your movement action would be to get to him and get to him. That's fine.
So I think I'm rolling with 3 dice. So let's see what happens.
So I take it you don't have move then as a skill.
I do.
You do.
But my agility is only 2.
2. Okay, right. Well, that's good. You know,
how dare you assume I suck at moving? I just suck at everything to do with agility. That isn't move.
Well, once you have a roll, wow, apparently you don't suck at agility. Yeah, 2 successes. You basically duck between Caspian, and you go between the other 2, the sort of like on the deck, and you get to him. Yeah, it's like you were trained to do this. All right.
Okay.
What's the plan?
Can I shiv this guy?
Shiv away, sir. Shiv away.
I watch as I get there and I completely fumble actually shivving the guy after being so impressive. I hope this works.
Well, that's a success. 1 success. Okay. Well, that's 1 damage. 2 damage, in fact. So yeah, you get up to him. He's really taken aback. You can see he kind of like takes a step back as you realize that you're suddenly in his face, and you shiv him with a knife, and you can feel the knife go into his side, but it kind of stops on something. There's maybe some kind of armor or something in there, but he kind of like flinches as you've definitely done something to him. It's at that point you hear some other gunfire coming from further on down the deck, and a massive wave crashes into the side of the ship. You can then also hear their ship smash against the hull of yours. Can you all please make a move and or agility roll, depending on what you have? And just let me know if you succeed or fail. You can, if you want to, push this roll if you feel free to do so. Although, having looked at some of the rolls, there's a lot of ones on those rolls that you may
go
not
Cochrane.
want to.
He succeeded.
So, Cochrane succeeds. I think everybody else fails, right?
Mm-hmm.
Caspian failed.
Caspian failed. Moss, I think, failed.
Yeah, I felt spectacularly.
Well.
Yeah. So yes, this massive wave crashes over the deck, which then sweeps you all straight off your feet, apart from Cochrane, who presumably you're standing up, you can see it coming, and you grab the railing next to where they've come on board, and the gangplank gets ripped off by the side. In fact, goes flying past everyone's heads. There's a loud crack and a smash from the underside of the vessel, and the whole vessel lurches off to its left-hand side, and you all skid from the side that you're on into the wall and across and down. And
we're not hurting ourselves?
So everyone who actually fell, thanks for that, can take 1 strength damage.
And I have to go chase everyone down the deck now.
But yeah, it doesn't sound good, and it feels terrible. And you can hear someone shout, "They're taking the elders! They're taking the elders!" And then their shout is cut off with a scream and gunfire. Okay, next round.
So in each turn, you're allowed 1 action and 1 maneuver, right? Or two maneuvers, right?
So that's it.
Right. So I have to reload the rifle. That's my maneuver. And then for my action, I am going to shoot one of these bastards. So it looks like I have 2 successes and 1 stunt.
So let's look at stunts. We love stunts. So you actually get some stunts specifically with shoot. So if you have access to an actual basic book, which you may want to have a little look at, you'll see that under all of the skills, they have a list of what all the stunts do. Shoot in the main book is on page 50 and 51. The stunts that you have, you can inflict 1 more point of damage. You can pin down the enemy, so they suffer 1 point of fatigue. You can increase your initiative score by 2, so you can be faster than everyone else. Your target drops a weapon or another handheld option. Your choice. Your opponent falls to the ground or is pushed back.
I'm going to do extra damage.
Cool. So you're going to end up doing 3 damage to him. Nice. And he will make a bad armor roll, hopefully. Okay. Yeah. You shoot him. You see it hits him, but it probably hits his armor.
Damn you and your secret armor rolls.
No. Okay.
Ed makes his rolls private, so we can't see the result.
Yes. So yes,
For the folks at home,
everyone
he's
else
one
like,
of
"What?"
those. He's one of those GMs.
That's saved many a player's life, I'll have you know. Chris, Moss is going to continue to run, or
I think I'm more alarmed by the shouts I heard earlier, and if they're really taking the elders, I need to see this. Where's this happening? Where did I think that the shouting came from?
It's actually further to the left-hand side of where you are.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. I'm going off on scout missions.
Split the pie.
I need to go and see this. This is horrible. Not the elders.
That's fine. That's okay. Do you want to make another move roll for me, please?
Yes, please. Again.
Any successes? Do you want to push
no
it?
Successes. Yeah, no, thank you.
Okay, that's fine. I just like to ask, it's polite. Okay, yeah, you try to hold on to anything you can to stop yourself from falling and slipping. You have to pick yourself up. It's hard going. The ship is violently being thrown left and right, up and down. There's water spraying in from the side. It's raining. Every now and then the light flashes with lightning. It is hard going, but you're kind of making your way. Right. The one that you just shot at, Marco. He's pretty much doing the same sort of thing as you. He's sort of leaning down, and it looks like he is going to take a pot shot at you. Secret roll time. Okay. So,
I hate not seeing the dice. I hate it.
would you like me to show you that?
No, it's okay.
Are you sure? I get 2 stunts.
Fuck you.
You got any armor, Marco? You got any armor?
No armor.
Oh, hey.
You wouldn't kill a 17-year-old, would you?
100% I would.
Welcome to the apocalypse.
I feel like this is half the game.
Yeah, he fires, and you take a shot clean through the shoulder. You have this flash of pain as you take 3 damage. To your
Oh
strength.
no. I'm already down to 2 from falling.
Okay. Well, you're going to go down to 0, so that's always good. But, my goodness, you're down.
So what does 0 strength mean?
0 strength means that you are going to die, maybe? Who knows? It means it's time for a critical.
Character death in episode 1.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, let's
See
roll
what
the
you can
critical,
do.
I guess.
So you're broken. Excellent. So, could you please make a roll? In fact, I can do it. Would you like me to roll it, or would you like to roll it, Marco? It's a D66.
21.
Okay, he shoots you in the face.
No.
Are you sure it wasn't 12?
Well, what it is he actually shoots you, and you catch the ricochet. And as you go down, you drop face first onto the deck, breaking your nose. And so, yeah, you crack. You're unconscious, and you're not dying yet, so you're fine. It's not an insta kill. You're just unconscious at the moment and out of the fight. So, kind sir, Pete, what are you doing? What's Roach going to do?
Right, my compatriot has just fallen flat on the deck after taking a hit, and there's still 2 guys with guns shooting at us. I'm flat on the ground myself, so I will kind of like grab hold of Caspian and try and scramble my way around the corner with him, dragging him around the corner.
Make a good old-fashioned strength roll. Yep. Because all you need is 1 success, that's fine. Yeah, you grab him and drag him, leg first.
Yeah, whatever I
first.
grab hold of.
Whatever you grab hold of, and drag him around the corner out of harm's way. Yep, that makes sense. Leaving the other one who scrabbles around and makes his way towards them. At least that's what you can see, Cochrane. He seems to have forgotten about you.
Well, I guess I'll still focus on my guy, so I guess I'll just charge him from the back and jump him.
Sure. Off you go. Makes it a little bit easier that you've got the momentum of the ship going in that same direction. So, shiv him in the back, which you do. So you also have access to some stunts.
Ooh,
More
I
damage.
just looked up.
Or
One
what?
things I can do as a stunt is a push.
Okay.
And I just push him off the deck.
Yeah, why not?
So we're right next to the railing.
You can sort of like stab him and push him as you go over the... Yeah, do you know what? That makes perfect sense. So you rush up behind him, and with your momentum, you stab him a couple of times in the side, and then you throw him over the deck. In fact, it doesn't take long for the ocean to meet him, and then he gets swept under the ocean, presumably under the boat, and he's lost from sight forever. But it does leave you standing next to someone or who's basically on the floor looking up at you with his pistol out.
Me there, covered in blood.
If everyone could please make a move roll apart from you, Marco, because you can't do anything. And let me know if you succeed.
Yep. Success.
I do not know how Cochrane keeps on getting away with his 3 dice.
Okay. So,
Sorry, I rolled
Pete,
that twice.
That's right.
Can we see me using the one with the success, maybe? Just for one?
Why not? I'll feel... Okay, that's your one chance then, Chris. That's it for the rest of the campaign. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, you hang on. Pete, can you please make a roll of strength just to make sure you keep hold of Caspian? Otherwise, he might go flying over the side of himself.
Wow.
Yeah, I let go of him so I can.
Do you want to let go of him, or do you want to push the roll?
Yeah, let's push it, shall we?
Okay. Well, yeah, no. So yeah, of course you roll 1 dice. So you got a success. You took 3 damage from it. But yeah, so what happens is you hang on to him. The wave takes it. The last minute you grab him, you can feel your arm dislocate as you grab him before you both slide towards the deck and almost over the edge as the wave almost takes Caspian into sort of like the deep, dark, briny ocean. It hurts, but you've got hold of him and you're holding on to some kind of metal strut, stopping him from going over the edge. The other 2, you managed to keep standing to a degree. And yeah, the other guy that was next to you, he is washed overshore of all as well. So there is no one left on deck. Chris, as you kind of manage to sort of struggle to kind of slide and slip along with the water and the hitting of the boat, you can see that there is another group of maybe 8 of these people, and you just see them throw 2 of the elders overboard. And then there is an almighty crash and horrendous noise. And then there is a bright light that illuminates the sky. It pushes all of the clouds and everything really quickly towards the ship, like some bright explosion that's happened on the horizon. It really sears into your eyes and anyone else who's looking at it, and your whole vessel gets pushed as if it was a small little boat in someone's bath across the ocean. The seas go flat and almost glass-like for just a brief second, and you can hear this almighty crack